Hello guys, welcome to Online Web Tutor presented by profotech Solutions team. I am Sanjay. We are learning WordPress Custom Post tutorial for beginners and this is our part 13. In this video session guys, we'll discuss about that how can we register a Metabox of Custom Post Type to another custom post type. And also guys, if you are a beginner to this channel, then please don't forget to subscribe and keep watching our previous video sessions to get the clear concept about part number 13. And also, if this is your first video session guys, then I strongly suggest you that just go to YouTube and now inside the playlist called WordPress Custom Post tutorial, in this playlist guys, you will find all the existing videos that we did so far. So basically guys, in our previous video sessions, means in part number 12, we actually did a register a post type that is movies, and now we have actually also registered another custom post type called categories. Okay, and now in our previous video sessions we have made a menus and sub menus on the behalf of two custom post type. Okay, so what actually we are going to do inside this video session, basically while clicking on movies, inside this movie section guys, if you go to add new section, and now we want that we should register a metabox of categories that we have developed as a custom post type. We want that these categories should appear right here. Okay, so how can we achieve that? So before starting this video session guys, actually we have learned about the add metabox WordPress function in our previous video session, that how can we register a metabox in WordPress. So to get the clear concept about add metabox, you can watch our previous video session. Okay, so just I'm going to copy, go to editor, and now this is the plugin that we have registered so far with our WP custom post type menus. Okay, so inside this function that we have developed in our previous video session, if I go just let's say add metabox, and now this function will take some of the parameters from us. Okay, the first parameter that we need to pass, that metabox ID. Okay, so let's say that category ID, because we are going to make a metabox of categories that we have registered. Okay, second called the metabox title, so let's say that category, or let's say movie category. Third parameter we need to pass the callback function. Okay, so let's say that WBL CPT category metabox. Okay, this is the callback function we will define later on. Okay, in the next parameter guys, we need to define about the screen details, and now screen details says that at what actually screen we want to appear this metabox. So we want that this metabox should appear at our movie section. Okay, so if you have remembered that we actually while registering our movies, this is the movie that we have registered. Okay, so just I'm going to copy, go inside function. Now in the next parameter we need to pass the movie name. Okay, next parameter we need to pass the context section, means at what position we want to appear this metabox. So we want that something sidebar. Just go to administrator panel, and now this is the side position. As you can see, publish, featured image, these are at the side position. Okay, so we want that our metabox should go inside right here. Okay, so just back to editor, and let's say that side. Okay, after that we have to pass the context priority. Okay, so what actually context priority is, if you go to administrator panel, context priority means the position at this sidebar. Okay, we want that our metabox should appear at the upper position, means at the high position. Okay, so we have to pass, let's say that high. So if I save this file, go to administrator panel and refresh this page, as we can see that the movie category is now appearing as a metabox at the high position of this sidebar. Okay, and also guys, about the details of these parameters we had discussed in our previous video session. Okay, so to get the clear concept about these parameters, you can actually watch our previous video session too. Now let's just start to define this callback function. Okay, so just I'm going to copy this callback function, go underneath, and let's say that function, this is the callback function name, and inside this callback function guys, we are going to make the layout of this metabox. Right now it actually does not contain any of the values inside that. As we can see, no values actually contained by movie category. So we want that the drop down of all categories that we create under this list, this actually all categories should appear inside this metabox. Okay, so first of all we have to create some of the categories inside this all category section. So let's say that Hollywood. Okay, just I'm going to publish again. Next category, let's say Bollywood, publish, let's say that South Indians, and the final one, let's say cartoon movies. Okay, cartoon. So just I'm going to publish. So basically we have actually added 4 of the categories inside this category section. We want that these all categories that we have created should appear inside our meta box called movie category. Okay, so for that we have many options to implement that functionality. Okay, the first option is that if you go to editor, first option is that just I'm going to define, let's say, global WPDB object. Okay, let's make a custom query for that. Let's say WPDB get results. Inside this get results function, let's say WPDB prepare for prevent the SQL injections. And now inside this query, let's say that select asterisk or let's say post title from WPDB posts. Okay, where post type equal to the post type that we have registered for the category section. If we have remembered, then it is category. So just I'm going to copy and let's say that post type equal to %s, and this as represents the category name. Okay, so if we save this file, let's say that all categories. Okay, so if we go ahead and let's say print r, so if we save this, and now let's reload this page. Once reload, as we can see that it contains the objects. Just click on inspect, and now it contains the informations like Hollywood, Bollywood, South Indians, and the cartoon. These are the objects that actually got by making this SQL query. Okay, so this is the first option. So let's make a comment, let's say first option. Okay, after getting all these data, guys, actually we can actually render by using for each loop inside a drop down list. Okay, so basically this is the first option that we have to make the drop down list. Okay, second option, what actually we will do, just I'm going to comment all these things, and let's say that by using the WordPress function called get posts. Okay, so let's say that categories equal to get post is the WordPress function. Basically inside this function we need to pass the post type. Okay, so inside this array we need to pass a parameter called post type equal to categories. Okay, this is the post type that we have created with the name called category. So just I'm going to copy and paste inside this. Okay, and in the second parameter we want that this post actually status has publish. Okay, so if we save this, let's make a printer again, print r, reload this administrator panel, and now we actually got the same result as we can see. Just I'm going to inspect, just scroll down. So as we can see that this is the post title, that is cartoon. Next, this is South Indians. Next, this is Bollywood, and now this is Hollywood. So all the categories, guys, we actually got by using the second way of function called get post. While getting these datas, actually we make the drop down using for each loop. Okay, so now we have another way to make the drop down list. Okay, so what actually is that? So if I make comment, so just make comment of these, and now in the third option, guys, we actually use a function called WP drop down pages. It automatically generates a drop down that actually we will pass some of the parameters inside this function. Okay, so what actually we will pass that? So first of all we have to just copy of this function, go to editor, and let's say that WP drop down pages about parameter details, just back to browser, and now these are the argument list, guys, that we can see. Okay, just scroll down. It also defines some of the parameters like post type. Okay, so we have to pass the post type as the custom post type that we have made. Okay, so just back to editor. Inside this function we have to make an array. Okay, inside this array let's pass post type equal to category that we have registered. Okay, it automatically generates a drop down list. Okay, so let's say that first of all we have to make a label section. So let's say that label choose category. Okay, and now inside this div section we have a drop down list this is something like that. Okay, so we have a small layout section for this meta box. First of all, it contains a label called category. Choose category. In the second deep section, it will contain the drop down list. Okay, so if we save this file, go to browser, reload this page, and now as we can see that this contains a label, okay, but does not contain the drop down list. Let me check that. Let's inspect that. So as I think guys that the div section is now empty. Okay, so why it is empty? Just back to editor. Now this is the drop down pages that we have passed. And one more thing guys that actually we forgot to attach is that what post type actually we want to show inside this drop down. Okay, so basically we have mentioned about the category section. So basically inside this post type category, so just scroll down, this is the post type that we have registered. So inside this category section we have to make a parameter, something called hierarchical, and hierarchical parameter should be true. Okay, so while making this true value, automatically it will pick all the categories that we have created inside this drop down. What we actually done, we have to change the hierarchical value of false to true inside this post type. Okay, so just save this file, go to administrator panel and refresh this page. While refresh, as we can see, we have the category section like Bollywood, cartoon, Hollywood and South Indians. These all categories that we have created inside this all categories section. Let's create some of the movies with these datas. Okay, so let's say that movie 1. Okay, this is the movie 1 attached with our Hollywood section. Just I'm going to publish. Let's add some of the movies again. Let's say movie 2. Click on South Indians and publish. Create new. Let's say that movie 3, this is in cartoon section, publish again. So successfully we have created 3 movies in 3 different categories. Okay, so just I'm going to edit this movie. As we can see that this is not the selected at this situation, because this is the movie that we have created inside the cartoon section, but now this value is not selected. This is because we are not saving this value to our database table. So first of all, we have to save this value. While making any movies with these data, we need to save this data as well. Okay, so just back to editor. To save the data of any custom meta box in our WordPress, we have to use action hook called save post. Okay, so for that, let's say that add action save post. This is the action hook that we need to add. Okay, and now inside this action hook we need to make a callback function. So let's say WPL save category meta box. Okay, next we need to define this callback function. So let's say that function, this is our callback function. Inside this callback function, first we need to check the post type. Okay, so let's say that global type now. Basically this type now gives you the custom post type that we are rendering. Okay, so let's say that if type now equal to the category section or the movie section, because we are saving this data while editing any of the movies or saving any movie. Okay, this meta box actually appearing inside this movie. So movie is the custom post type. Okay, so we need to check that while saving this category, the post type should be movie. Okay, so let's say that type now equal to movie. While getting the type now equal to movie, we need to update our post meta. So let's say that update post meta. Basically this callback function takes some of the parameters from us, and first we have to define the priority of this execution. So this is the priority of execution of this callback function. Okay, now this is the 2 indicates that we are going to pass 2 of the parameters inside this callback function. Okay, so let's say that first parameter, it should be post ID, and second should be the post detail. Okay, bypassing these 2 parameters, we need to save this data. Okay, so first of all, let's pass that post ID. So update post meta, this will take a parameter called post ID. Next we have to pass the key. So we are going to save the movie category. So let's say that movie category selected. Okay, this is the key that you have to pass. In the next parameter we need to pass the value. Okay, so while actually saving, we need to get the data of this drop down. So first of all, we have to make the name parameters in here. Okay, so let's say name, let's say movie category. So this is the name that we have defined. So just I'm going to go copy movie category. Let's retrieve that value. So let's say that category equal to each set request. This is the movie category. So we actually get the data inside this variable. Okay, so let's say that trim. Okay, or basically it will give us the integer value of that post type. Okay, so if we just comment out this section, go to administrator panel, and now if we inspect that, then we can see that this drop down value will give the value as the integer value. And also guys, if you go to the documentation section of WP drop down pages, then basically it will provide us a name as the default value as page ID. Okay, so as we can see that this is the page ID that is default value. So we want to change that. So to change that, we need to pass the value inside our name section as we have given movie category. Okay, so we are retrieving the integer value from this drop down. So we want to save this category value. So just I'm going to copy. Inside this update post meta, we need to pass inside this third variable. Okay, this is the category ID, and basically guys, update post meta is the WordPress function. If it finds that key in our database, then it will update, or else it will add a new key with this name. Okay, so it works as both as update as well as add section. Okay, so if we save this file, go to administrator panel, and now close this, inspect, reload this page. So let's movie 3, let's update into cartoon section. So just I'm going to update this. After updating, if you go to database, just I'm going to click on WP post meta, descending order, and now as we can see that movie category selected, that is 65. Okay, this is the post ID 83. So let's make a zoom. So basically post ID 83 means this is the post ID 83. Okay, this contains the value of this cartoon section. Okay, which basically the post type has of 65. Okay, so we want that this drop down box should also selected while saving any details with this movie. Okay, so how can we make the selected to this box? So first of all, this function means the WP drop down pages contains a key called selected. This selected will take the integer value what actually we want to be selected on. So just back to editor, and now let's say that we want to get this post meta value that we have saved. Okay, so let's say that saved ID. Okay, and this saved ID uses a function called get post meta. Basically this get post meta function returns the ID that we have saved. Okay, after getting this ID, we actually make the selected as the parameter, and now inside this selected parameter that we have seen, inside this selected we have to pass the integer value that we have saved of this category. Okay, so just I'm going to copy this saved ID and we have to pass here. Now inside this get post meta function guys, we have to pass some of the parameters to retrieve that value. Okay, so basically first of all, this function that we have defined, it will take a parameter called post. By the help of this variable means post, as we scroll down, this basically contains a key called post ID. This will give the ID of that object. Okay, and in the second we have to pass the key that we have saved. So basically we use the movie category selected as the key to save that value. Okay, so we need to pass in the second parameter, and third parameter we need to pass the true value for getting a single value of that. Okay, so if we save this file, go to browser and reload this page. So as we can see that the cartoon is now selected. Just back to all movie section, and now if we click on edit of movie 2, let's Hollywood. So if we update, and now as we can see that the Hollywood is now selected. Again I'm clicking on all movies, movie 1, and let's choose a category called South Indians. Okay, so on the behalf of all these categories, now movie has the drop down and all it's the post meta as the category value. Okay, so what we want from the next video, we want that these categories that we have created should appear in our data table right here to filter out the movies that we have created. this is the whole concept, guys, that we have seen about the custom post type registration and how can we use custom post type in WordPress. Okay, in our previous video session, guys, before making this menu system of custom post type, we actually learned about that how can we register a taxonomy inside our custom post type. And now these are the two categories, means movie section and the categories. These are the two custom post type that we have registered. Okay, so from the next video session, guys, we will make this category section a drop down list to filter out the movies that we have created inside that category right here. Okay, so if you have any query in this video session, guys, then just drop your comment. I will give my reply as soon as possible. So for this video session, guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day.